Okay. Very warm good evening to everyone. My name is Natasha. I am the Joint Secretary of IIT Delhi Alumni Association. And on behalf of the association, I welcome all of you to the Arogyam Health Series, the second event, Sleep and Anxiety, the Hidden Killer of Productivity. I take honor in welcoming today's speaker, Prashant Rajouri. He is 1996 pass out from IIT Bombay, senior faculty at Art of Living. He has extensively conducted the Art of Living workshops in more than 40 countries and has been teaching participants the secret to stress-free, happy and fulfilling life. Over to you, Prashant, and welcome. Prashant, you're on.
Yeah. Thank you, Natasha. Hope everyone is doing well. How's everyone? Good?
Yeah.
Very good or very, very good. If you have a sheet of paper with you and a pen, you can, I'm going to ask you some questions and, you can make your own notes. It will help. Okay. So if nothing, you can use your cell phone to make notes there also. But my first question to you, all of you is, what is the ideal state of mind we would like to have when we are working? Would we like to be a mind which is happy, stress-free, or stressed mind, full of thoughts, full of confusion? So you do not share the answers with me, but you can note it down for yourself. What is that ideal state of mind you would like to have when we are working? And those of us who have finished the first answer, the second question is, what is the ideal state of body we would like to have? Energetic, enthusiastic, or lethargic, lacking enthusiasm? So we can write those keywords there. What is the ideal state of body we would like to have when we are working? Okay. And then the next question. The next question is, what happens to us? What happens to our state of mind when we don't have good sleep? Is it calm? Is it disturbed? Is it groggy? Is it full of confusion? Full of clarity? Whatever. You write those answers there also. What happens when we have what happens to our mind when we have good sleep? And the next question is, what happens to our body when we have good sleep? Is it full of energy, enthusiasm, lacking energy, enthusiasm? Are we lost because do we feel tired, fresh, whatever? So I've asked 4 questions basically. What is the state of mind and body when we require to work well, and what is the state of body and mind when we don't have good sleep? And the answers, it's very clear that when we are not sleeping well, we don't feel fresh, we don't feel energetic, we don't have clarity in mind. So lack of sleep is causing lack of ideal situations to work, and naturally, it affects the productivity. But if I have to, give three reasons which drive 3 factors which drive productivity, the first is, when we don't have good sleep, we lack clarity in mind. Our mind is full of confusion, and because of that confusion, decision making becomes very difficult. And many of us, we are in jobs where quick, clear decisions need to be made. Lack of good sleep also affects our memory functions, and it also affects our expression. Expression means both in work and in words, okay, in communication. So that is what is lack of sleep doing to us. And depending on the lack of good sleep, the loss to productivity may be up to 25-30%. See what happens many times. We think we are working hard, we are working long hours, but we are working long hours because our mind is not very clear, our body is not very energetic. And the longer we work, that much more tired we become. And when we become more tired, we become more stressed also. Connecting to tiredness is stressed. And that is not allowing us to sleep properly. So we get into a negative cycle where lack of sleep is driving lack of productivity, which is again driving lack of sleep. Okay. And what are the indicators? Now, what lack of sleep is doing, I'm telling you, but what are the indicators of good sleep? I will say only two indicators. One indicator is, see, when we wake up in the morning, good sleep means we are ready to face the challenges of the day without any difficulty. We wake up and we are ready to face all the challenges. Like a small baby, 6-year-old, 7-year-old child, when it wakes up, it is full of enthusiasm the moment it wakes up. But what happens to us when we wake up in the morning? What is the first thought we have? The first thought we have is, oh, I need that 10-15 minutes of extra sleep, half an hour of extra sleep. And even if we give ourselves that 10-15 minutes, half an hour of extra sleep, we still don't feel fresh. That is an indication that the match of quantity and quality. See, a lot of people talk about quantitative sleep. You need to sleep between 6 to 8 hours. But what is more important is the quality aspect. We may be sleeping those 6 to 8 hours, but is our sleep giving us that quality, which is making us fresh? So that is the first thing. We lack energy. We need that extra sleep when we wake up in the morning. It is indicating that our sleep is not good. And when we feel energetic, it is indicating that we are full of good sleep. The second factor is when we have good sleep, we feel very happy. Very happy. Just reflect back on those days when we had good sleep. Don't we feel very happy that those days, oh, what an amazing sleep I had? And if it was really good sleep, you will share it with people around us also. After months, I had sleep like that. It was so refreshing. It was so full of, energy. So these two indicators, we will feel very happy when we have good sleep, and we will be full of energy when we get good sleep. And both these factors are connected more to quality than quantity. More qualitative. Okay. Now, what happens during sleep? Why do we feel fresh? Why do we feel energetic? See, our brain goes through various phases during sleep. Okay. There are 4 different distinct phases of sleep. One is N1 and second is N2. It's not of much importance to us here, so we will not talk about it now. But the N3 phase of sleep, that state of deep sleep, which we experience every night, is very important. During N3 phase of sleep, our body gets a chance to repair itself. It gets a chance to refresh and rejuvenate itself. And when the body repairs itself properly, it refreshes and rejuvenates itself properly, then every aspect of our body functions properly. We are full of energy. Does it make sense? So we are full of energy. And in the long term, what happens is we are able to ward off lifestyle related diseases. What is lifestyle related disease? It's just the body is not able to heal itself in sleep. So whether it is heart problem or blood pressure problem or blood sugar problems or kidney problems or liver problems, all that originate with lack of good sleep. Why? Because the body is not able to repair itself day in and day out. And that is happening because of lack of N3 sleep. And then there is a fourth part to sleep, which is called rapid eye movement phase of sleep. Okay, this is the phase of sleep when we experience a lot of dreams. Okay, and during this phase of sleep, is the nerves and the brain which get a chance to repair themselves. They get a chance to refresh and rejuvenate themselves. Our intellect functions improve with REM sleep, and so does our memory functions. And when this aspect of our uh, body is corrected, then our thoughts are clear, our emotions are balanced, we are much more happy and joyful and willing to accept all challenges of life. Okay, so that is why good sleep is very, very essential, good qualitative sleep. And then now the thing is what we can do to correct. First, let us know what is causing that disturbance of sleep, or what is causing that lack of quality in our sleep. So there are a number of factors. I will talk about 8 or 9 factors. Okay, and it will give us a good matrix of what we need to do to correct ourselves first, and then what more we can do. We will talk a little later. Okay, so the first aspect is our physical activity. Now, for thousands of years, human beings have been physically very, very active. And in the last 40, 50 years, what has happened? That physical activity has gone down. We have machines for everything, no? We have washing machine, dishwashers, we have machines for walking, cycling, or cycling is still good, but cars and buses and everything. So we are not physically very active, and that is affecting the quality of sleep. And in the same way, when we are overactive, when we overwork ourselves, that is also not allowing us to sleep properly. So that optimum amount of tiredness, and it depends from person to person. So we need to experiment with ourselves and see what is that optimum activity which is giving us good sleep. Okay, and uh, that that activity also changes from day to day, time to time. So we need to experiment. What is that? What is that? So that is the first aspect. The second aspect is the food we are having. Now, again, we are all different persons, but we need to watch the food. There are certain foods which induce sleep for us. There are certain foods which make us more active. So foods that induce sleep to us, we have it closer to our night time. Foods which are inducing activity, we have it more in the morning. So again, that experimentation we need to do to see what is that food which is inducing better sleep to me. Then the third aspect is, we all know, tea, coffee. When we don't need to sleep, we have that extra cup of tea or coffee, so just so that we don't fall off to sleep. So that tea and coffee is affecting our sleep. And you know how much tea and coffee is not affecting our sleep? What is that quantity? What is that limit? If you go to Bombay, in Bombay, you will get something called cutting chai. We've heard about it, right? So 2 cups of cutting chai per day is not disturbing your sleep. There is no such thing as cutting coffee, but equivalent of that, 2 cups of cutting coffee is not going to disturb our sleep. Anything more than that is disturbing our sleep. And nowadays, with the advent of Starbucks and CCD and things like that, what is happening? We are having 400 ml of coffee in one shot, maybe 2-3 times a day. We are having 15 days, 1 month's coffee in one day. It is a big surprise we still fall off to sleep after that. So we need to watch our tea and coffee. Okay. Now see, what I'm saying is, these are the factors. There are certain things we would like to correct. There are certain things we don't want to correct. It is our life. There are certain things we like. We like our tea, coffee, so have it. But no, this is affecting my sleep. And the next is, the biggest surprise in the 8 or 9 things is alcohol. Now, even if you have 1 spoon of alcohol, which is very small quantity of alcohol, a lot of people say, oh, I get good sleep. If you're really getting good sleep, then you should wake up very refreshed the next morning, full of energy and happiness. But even that 1 spoon of alcohol is not making us wake refreshed, is it? And when we have large quantities of alcohol, then what happens? We have a hangover, the head spins, everything, all the funny things happen. So alcohol is is cutting down on the N3 and REM phases of sleep, which is required. It is making us more unconscious than giving us N3 and REM sleep. And that is why it is affecting the good quality of sleep. Now, again, as I said, my intention is not to change your lifestyle. You are the boss of your lifestyle. You have to decide what you want to continue with and what you don't want to continue with. But information should be available. And then the next, again, is surprising, is tobacco and smoking. So like alcohol, tobacco, smoking also is tobacco only. So tobacco is affecting our N3 and REM phases of sleep. Then the next factor is we all have this device, no? We can't live without handheld device. What is it called? The cell phone. And many of us, till our eyes close, we are on the cell phone. See, two things happen. In fact, three things happen when we have the cell phone so late in the night. One, because of the cell phone, many times we are postponing our sleep. We want to sleep early. We get onto the cell phone. We don't know how much time passed. And then suddenly we realize, oh, 2-3 hours have passed. I'm well beyond my sleeping time. The second thing is the light in the cell phone. That light in the cell phone is disturbing our neurons responsible for sleep. And that is why it is not allowing us to sleep properly. And the third is because the cell phone is on, our mind is active. And because the mind is active, we keep on waking up again and again in the night. So as we move closer to sleep, cut down on the cell phone usage. Okay. And 45 minutes before best, we do not use the cell phone. Okay. And then the cell phone comes with its brothers and sisters and cousins, the laptops, the tablets, the music system, the television set, all that. When I talk about the cell phone, it is all put together. So we relax our body with other methods, not using the cell phone. And iPads and things like that. Yeah, light instrumental music may be helpful, but not the harsh rock music and things like that. Okay. And then the next factor is, again, for thousands of years, our human genes are used to dim yellow lights. For thousands of years, human beings have used lamps and candles. Our genes are used to it. Now, in the last 30, 40 years, what has happened? We have lots of bright lights of different colors in our homes also and on the streets also. And those lights are again disturbing the neurons connected with sleep. So closer to sleep, we start dimming the lights. We can't control the lights on the streets, but at least in our homes, we can switch to yellow lights and start dimming the lights. And if you wish, it's a wish, you can have candlelight or lamp light for the last half an hour, 45 minutes before you sleep. It will give you very good sleep. Then the last factor we will discuss, there are many more factors, but the last factor we will discuss is irregular sleep times. It can be because of our work. It can be because of travel also. Now, many of us, we travel across time zones. From here, suddenly we go to UK, and then we go to US, then come back to India. These factors are not in our control, but irregular sleep timings are affecting the quality of our sleep. So nothing much can be done, but we know. So when we know, we focus as much as possible. We streamline our sleep timings. We sleep at a particular time. We wake up at a particular time. And that is how we help our body to sleep better. So see, we talked about these 8 factors which are affecting our sleep. Now, some of it is under our control. Some of these factors are not under our control. Some of these we want to change, and some of these we don't want to change. So what more can we do to sleep better? Mm. That is where, we the ancient yogis did a lot of research on sleep. Mm. They, in fact, even defined what sleep. It is one of the very few scriptures or very few things that sleep is defined. Even modern psychologists and psychiatrists, they don't have a foolproof definition of sleep. And what are the factors? What are the practices? What are the techniques which help us sleep better? Mm. So what we will do, there are multiple techniques, but what we will do today is we will uh, do one breathing. There are various pranayamas which help us sleep better. There are various meditations which help us sleep better, and there are suggested diets and things like that. Breathing exercises. There are many yogic techniques. So we will look into two techniques today, which we can practice on a day-to-day basis. It will help us, sleep slightly better. Okay. Mm. So would you like to learn these two techniques or know about these two techniques?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
What?
mm. So the first technique we are going to use is called the Brahmari Pranayam. Mm. Now this Brahmari Pranayam, some of us who are exposed to yoga, we may have heard it is done in 2-3 different ways. We will do it in a particular way today. What we have to do is we have to take our 2 index fingers. Okay. And we have a lip of the ear. There is a triangular space, a triangular projection at the edge of the ear, right? So we will use the index finger to close that, use the edge of the ear, triangular space, to close the ears. Now we can relax. So what we will do is we will close our ears and then we will breathe in. And as we breathe out, we are going to make the humming sound. Okay. And the pressure in the ears, we have to adjust. It requires a little experimentation. We have to adjust in such a way that that humming sound starts resonating in the brain. Okay. So that is the ideal pressure. And with that pressure, we gently reduce and increase the pressure. So slowly open the ears and close. So what the sound will appear to us is like a humming bee. To an outsider, it will appear only one shrill, one humming, plain humming sound, but to us, it will sound like a humming bee. Okay, so very simple. I'll just demonstrate it once. Okay. With our eyes closed, we will do 5 breaths of this uh, Brahmari Pranayam. And then after that, we will do a short meditation. Okay. So meditation is one of the most easy things to do in life. Okay. If you think meditation is difficult, then we have not understood what meditation is. And why it is easy. There are 3 rules to meditation. The first rule is I want nothing from meditation. I don't want peace of mind. I don't want relaxation. I don't want happiness. I don't want good sleep also. I want nothing from meditation. The second rule is I am nobody. I'm neither male nor female, rich nor poor, educated nor uneducated. Neither a person who knows a lot about meditation, nor a person who does not know anything about meditation. And the third, the most easy rule is I do nothing. So I don't focus. I don't concentrate. I don't, fix my mind to one thought or, control my mind. I don't even control my body. If I feel like moving my body a little bit, that is also allowed. That is what is meditation. So I am doing nothing. These are the 3 rules of meditation. So what do I mean by these 3 rules? I will give you certain instructions. For example, I will give you an instruction, take your attention to the moon. And instead of the moon, the sun comes up. Then don't fight with the sun. Sun, go away, go away. Where is the moon? Where is the moon? Be with the moon. Be with the sun. If the sun and moon both don't come up, only flowers come up, be with the flowers. If nothing comes up, be with that nothing. And in that process of doing nothing, automatically, if the moon comes up, good. Otherwise, don't bother. So it is as simple as that. Doing whatever we can and not worrying about what we cannot. Okay. And the most important thing is allow the mind to race. Wherever it wants to go, let it go. Okay. So we will do these two exercises. And after that, I will speak for a couple of minutes more. And then if you have any specific questions regarding our sleep or the conditions we are experiencing in our life, then we will take up those questions. Okay. So let us sit easily and comfortably, be relaxed, and we will do the Bhramari Pranayam. With our index fingers, we will place the index fingers on the lip of our ear to close our ears. And on our own, for 5 breaths, we will do Bhramari Pranayam. Breathe in. And when we complete 5 rounds of the Bhramari Pranayam, we may relax, bring down our arms, and place our palms on our lap, open facing the ceiling. And let us keep our eyes closed. Let us sit easily and comfortably. We are sitting so easily and comfortably that we are not making any efforts to even sit. Our sitting is almost automatic. Let us relax all the muscles of our body and just relax. Let us take a deep breath in and breathe out. Let us take another deep breath in and breathe out. Let us take our attention to all the sounds that are happening in the surroundings. the sound of the air conditioner or the fan, traffic sounds, sounds of people speaking to each other, any other sound that is happening in our surroundings. Let us take a deep breath in and breathe out. Let us take our attention to our body. This body is a beautiful gift to us from nature. Let us take our attention to the right foot, right knee, right thigh and hip, the whole of right leg. Let us take our attention to the left foot, left knee, left thigh and hip, the whole of left leg. Let us take our attention to the abdomen, chest, shoulders, right arm and hand, left arm and hand, throat and neck, face, the whole body. The whole body. The whole body. Let us take a deep breath in and breathe out. Let us take our attention to our thoughts. Good thoughts or bad thoughts? Let us take a deep breath in and breathe out. Let us take our attention to our feelings. Good feelings or bad feelings? You are peace. You are love. You are joy. Let us take a deep breath in and breathe out. Let us take our attention to our feelings. Let us take our attention to our thoughts. Let us take a deep breath in and breathe out. Let us take our attention to our body. Let us take a deep breath in and breathe out. Let us take our attention to our surroundings. Let us take a deep breath in and breathe out. Let us take another deep breath in and breathe out. And taking our own time, very slowly, we may open our eyes. Taking our own time, very slowly, we may open our eyes. How was it? How was it? Was it good?
Very good, very good.
Hmm.
Good.
So we can use the chat box and share what we are feeling after the meditation and this exercise. Just a couple of minutes, we can share our experiences. I will just read the messages on the chat. So calming. Okay. So relaxing. Very calming. Quite relaxing. Very beautiful. Thoughts slow down, very relaxing. It was very good. No thought, calm. Amazing experience. Aware of body and feelings. Feeling drowsy. Good. If you're feeling drowsy, best thing to happen. Indeed, relaxing. We were exploring ourselves. Good. Good, good. So few more. I don't want anything. I'm nobody and I'm doing nothing. Feel as if it would induce sleep right away. Very nice. A couple of experiences more. You can continue writing, but I'll read a couple of experiences more. Do we need to practice it daily? That's a question. I will answer it in a short while. Some moments of humming felt so deep. Very good. Very good. Okay, good. So you can keep on writing your experiences. I will read them. See, the purpose of our life is to be happy and enjoy everything. But in the process of, and what we think is when we work hard, we will earn a lot of money, we will be successful in life, and someday, sometime, I will really enjoy things. Okay. And it's not possible, no? It's not possible. The secret to happiness may be not in the daytime. The secret to happiness may be our sleep. If you could set our sleep right, then we will be able to do our work also very efficiently. We will have much more time to be, doing many other things in life and enjoy life to the fullest. Okay. And that is where we really need to invest in our sleep. We have never addressed our sleep. We always thought that it is something which is beyond our control. It happens, and there is no way we can improve the quality of sleep. But there are various yogic techniques. We teach a number of techniques. In fact, we have a separate program also where we can learn more insights into how we can improve our sleep and what we can do when we wake up in the middle of the night and not go back to sleep. So there are many aspects. If we can understand sleep, then we can make our life very happy and enriching. Okay. So real happiness, the source may be in our sleep, not in our daytime, not in our work, not in the things we do throughout the day, but what we do at night with our sleep. Okay, so I'll just go through some more experiences. Already questions have started coming, so we will address the questions also. Good. So one of the questions is, do we need to practice it daily? Yeah, if you practice it daily, you will sleep better daily, no? And that is what we want to. If you are able to sleep well, then everything else, sets right in our life. Okay. We will recognize, many times we put on weight, we do binge eating because the sleep is not right. If you could set our sleep right, in every aspect of our health, mental, physical, emotional, all that can be set right. Then somebody is saying, should the mind always be in this state? No, not necessary to be in this state all the time. But when we practice meditation regularly and we do things, the mind is more calmer compared to other times. And then because of that, we are able to do everything better. Okay. And there was one more question somewhere. Very good. Do we need to practice? That I've answered. Was able to get away from mobile completely during this period. Very good. This is real happiness. Excellent talk. Felt very calm and peace. I used to laugh at my students who told they like sleeping the most. Simple but very effective. Can we go for a small nap in daytime too? if you think it helps you, you can. And then there was another question in the question basket. It's disappeared. Okay. So any other questions we have? One question has come. Can we? No, we have to address this. Can we go for small nap? Then in the chat box also there is a question now. Brahmuri, do we take fingers in and out while humming? Yeah. Fingers are not inside the ear. We are using the lip of the ear to cover the ear. So the fingers move in and out like this gently. Okay. And the pressure is such that that humming sound resonates in the entire brain. So that requires little experimentation. It's a little extra pressure. At that pressure, the sound resonates. Okay. So it's a very beautiful sound. We would all do this as children. No? When we were children, we would do this, make this sound, and our parents would tell us, don't make that sound. They did not know that it is relaxing our mind, and it can be a very effective tool for us to go to sleep also. Okay. So very much like the calm expression and tone in which the talk was delivered. Thank you so much. Sometimes there is also sound of the flap opening and closing. Is that okay? It's like a sine wave. Yeah, that's fine. All sounds the body makes during sleep, that is all fine. It is a natural state. And many of us, we have that sleep apnea problem. All that can be corrected. Restless leg syndrome and insomnia, all that over a period of time can be corrected with yogic practices. That is the beauty. So the more we snore, that much more the quality of sleep is being affected. Okay, so we need to address all these factors so that we sleep deeper and deeper. Should meditation be done in a silent environment only? Too much noise disturbs concentration. See, real meditation is that which can be done with sound also. And if you remember the instructions which I gave instructions, take your attention to all the sounds happening in the surroundings also. So, and the next important thing is meditation is not concentration. Okay, so we don't really need to concentrate on this. Meditation is relaxation, and in a relaxed way, whatever is happening with the mind, with the body, that is meditation. Okay, so allow yourself to be in total noise and meditate. That is real meditation. How to maintain balance between human curiosity and mental peace and calmness. See, to all the curiosity, you will get your answer when you are peaceful and calm. When are you able to think better? With a calm mind or a disturbed mind? When are you able to act better? When are you able to do anything better? Now, if you have a big problem in front of you, which is the better way of handling the problem? With a calm or disturbed mind? With a calm and relaxed mind or a disturbed mind? So to enhance, to bring clarity to our thought processes, to bring clarity to what we are seeking, to bring clear answers, we require mental peace and calmness. So it is not that we are contradicting each other. Our mental peace and calmness will help give direction to that curiosity and get better answers. Okay. And there is one more question in the chat box. During meditation, a lot of unnecessary thoughts and anxiety due to failing in meeting our targets happens. How to ignore these thoughts and achieve peace of mind? The biggest mistake we do is wanting to ignore these thoughts and resisting these thoughts. We say, I don't want these thoughts. And the more we make effort to resist the thoughts and the more effort we make to ignore the thoughts, that much more the thoughts come. So let the thoughts be there. If they have to go, the meditation will remove the thoughts. You don't have to do anything to remove the thoughts. Okay. So just relax. Let the thoughts be there. And whatever we have been told, to whatever extent we are able to implement, we will implement. And what we are not able to implement doesn't matter. Okay, that is meditation. Meditation is effortless effort. There is effort also, but there is no effort also. We are going with the flow also, and yet putting, putting some markers in the middle, which requires a very slight effort. So, okay, I've got a direct message here. How can I know more about the programs you are teaching? So I will share my number here. One of the volunteers will share my number. And if you want more details about the program, you can also share your numbers. The volunteers will note it down, and then we will call and let you know. Okay, so both ways we can work. So my number is 8968191956. Let me write it down. Okay. Okay, I have just shared my number, and if you want to receive us to call you back also, you can put in your numbers and then we will revert to you. So both ways we can work it out. Thanks for the wonderful session. Great job, alumni team. Very helpful. We can do more of these. Very good. Thank you. Can we invite you to do another session with additional activities? Yes, if you wish, we can do that. Okay, so good. No more questions. Then very nice and helpful. Thank you so much. Thank you for a good overview on sleep disorder and reinforcing two useful techniques. I also liked a simple definition of meditation. Recording is available. The association will share the link if you wish. Thank you, Prashantji, JGD. Good. So it was wonderful having you for this wonderful talk. Many of the people I'm not able to see because of the webinar nature of this, but some of the panelists I'm seeing, and I'm seeing their faces are also quite relaxed over the last 1 hour. So wish you all the best. Hope we meet sometime in person somewhere. But if we don't, be happy, be joyful, be enthusiastic, and most importantly, sleep well. So wish you all the best, and we will keep on connecting again and again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So somebody is asking, has one question. Somebody's asking, is meditation to be done every day and what time? Yeah, before breakfast, lunch, and dinner is the best time, and it can be done every day. Okay. Okay. I'm also 1996 pass out from IITD, so kind of batchmates. Yeah. Nice to connect with you.
Thank you, Prashantji. Now we would like to invite Madan sir to give vote for thanks for this event. Madan sir.
Yeah, thank you, Goel. Oh, it was really a nice session. Thanks to Natasha as well as Prashant Rajouri for giving us an insight to a sleep. We are looking into sleep when your eyes are closed. Well, you very well said it, that unless and until the body is relaxed and repairs itself on a daily basis, it will tend to not come back to its original efficiency. And this small deterioration on a daily basis is really what causes, and we all know as lifestyle diseases. Right? You mentioned 8 points regarding which we should take care of it. And these are all external factors. Things like physical work, food, your tea, coffee, alcohol, tobacco, cell phones. That's it. Basically your style of working, and cause a light also is under your. And the most important thing was irregular sleep. Now this is where one need to really concentrate. Unfortunately, today's lifestyle is such that Sometimes I have to catch a flight. I have to wake up at 4 in the morning. And when I'm having a Sunday, I say, oh, hell with it. Let me go to sleep till 10 o'clock. Yeah. But these are the factors which really affects you in the long run. And if you're very careful on these on a regular basis, I think you can really improve our health style. And what happens now? How do we cure it? Then we start looking inside. What is yoga tells you is that you look inside. It's the meditation which helps you relax. And what are you doing? You're basically closing your eyes, you're closing your mind, you're making sure that your thought process is under control, your breathing is under control, everything is under control by yourself. And that's what relaxes you. And I'm very sure if you start practicing it on a daily basis, we will certainly be a much better human being, will be much more efficient, will be much more productive and a good human being. Because with these thought process also, your mind starts working towards much positivity rather than on the negative side. Well, thanks once again to Prashant Ji Rajouri and the organizing team, Gaurav, Natasha, and everybody. And before I close, let me convey my greetings to all the participants on this auspicious occasion of Raksha Bandhan. Yeah. Thank you very much. Natasha, it is all yours now. Hello.
Thank you, Madan sir. Sir, the recording of the session will be available to all the participants. We will share it very soon.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
thanks everyone for joining us on this auspicious day. We will end the webinar now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.